Hello sweet friends, welcome. In today's video we are going to finish decorating the fireplace and this cabinet right here, and we're going to get it ready for Americana summer and all that. So let's get this started. All right, I've been working a little bit on the fireplace in this cabinet here. Here's what I've done so far. On the fireplace, I put a crock, and then I put some of my old books that I had in this cabinet next to it. And then I went ahead and put some crocks on here. And I added these 3 old flags to that crock. And then up here on the top, I just put 2 of my big old Bibles. And then I have this little basket where I keep some of my little Bibles. Went ahead and put that up there. And I added a stack of coverlets and antique fabric. And then I just put that gourd on there. So that's what I have for now. I do have a reproduction Americana type print downstairs that I'm going to go get and see if it looks good sitting next to that crock jug. And then over here I have put 2 more old flags inside that crock. So there's that. And then I put this, to pull the blue over here, I put this old blue tote here, and then put some just old creamers. And I went ahead and stuck some tulips in there. And then I have a jar, an old jar on the back side. So for now, I've put that in there. And I switched this up a little bit. I added that old architectural piece. These other 2 things were in there. I just pulled them more to the front. And that's just an old coal mining basket. All right, so I'm going to go on downstairs and grab that that picture. Oh, and over here, I don't remember if I had shown that. I went ahead and added that folded flag on top of that red box. And that crock that I have on the trunk was down there. And then I switched out the wood bowls for some crock bowls that were inside that little glass cabinet. And I think this is basically the same. I don't remember what I had, if I had all this in there at the end of the other video. So that's looking nice. So we just need to get this finished up. I have some blue slip pottery crocks and things that I'm going to be putting in this cabinet, and we'll see what else. All right, let's see. So I don't know what's been going on with the weather here in Southern Illinois lately. It's been dark and cold and rainy. It's really getting on my nerves. So anyway, I'm going to try that. Let me pull back a little bit and let's see. I think that works out. That way it pulls in a little bit more height over here since I have the tall flags on that side. I still think it maybe needs, I don't know, something else. What about if I can't really put a flag inside that jug because it's got a topper on it. And but maybe I could put one like just sitting behind it. Or would that be too much? All right, let's go ahead and empty out some of the things that are in this cabinet. I don't know what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use, but I'm just going to go ahead and take most of the stuff out, probably all the stuff out. And then that way I can start with a clean, fresh slate. Okay, I know I want to try to use this vintage Wagon. Let's see. That's good. Rarely does what I have in my mind actually work. So it does fit. That's awesome. Let's try to soften it a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to put in the Wagon yet, but let's try to soften it up. I want to use my, this was my grandma's. She used to make mashed potatoes and everything, cakes and everything in it growing up. So we'll pull some blue over there. We'll put this back in for now. Hopefully, if it doesn't look right, then I'll take it back out. But it's just an old velvet. These are the wood bowls that I had on that table before. Try that. And then I have this bowl here. Try to pull some of that blue. All right, so that's working. Now to figure out what to keep doing. So I don't know if it's going to need something below it, but here's some wood that I thought I'd put here on this top shelf. Okay, now it's going to need something in there, that's for sure. But at least we have the blues and then the woods to make it visually more level. Try this, have this old yeast foam box. I'll try putting it down here. So there's that. And then I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I ought to go get those spindles that I found last weekend and try to put them in here and maybe add some greenery. Okay, let's see if we can continue the blue and wood on down. I'm running out of blues though. So let's see. I know it's not exact, but maybe that. These. Okay. So that definitely needs something else added in. Let's try all right, that's a little bit better. Well, that's working. Let's see. Got one piece of this at M.A. Hadley. So cute. I think that works all right. So there's that. Now I know I don't have any red in there, but that's all right. I definitely don't have enough red to add in there. I only got those two pieces, so we're not going to even fool with that. Now I do have these, which I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I can put them in the Wagon, or maybe that bucket thing. I think they'd show up better in the Wagon. So, and there's Desi. I wondered why he hadn't rang the bell this whole time. Because if you know, anytime I record, Desi rings the bell. Okay, here's where I put them. Put them in that Wagon. And then set that little plate next to the bucket. And then I put the bigger one on that shelf and tried to put the salt and pepper shakers in there. And I have this sampler. Maybe I ought to try to fit in there too, because I used to have it in there. Or I did have it in there. I don't know if it should go behind the bucket or maybe behind Grandma's bowl. Let's try something and see. I've had this forever. So, okay, it won't fit on that shelf. But I know it fits up here because this is where I had it. So let's try. It may not work. I may have to just take it out. And it ends up distracting rather than helping. Let me stand back. No, I don't like that there because of this and that together. That's a no-go. Now it might fit. Let's see. Oh yeah, it might fit back here behind these Crocs because I thought this looked a little bare anyway. But we'll see. It may not work. I don't know. Let me step back and look. Yeah. Even though I know I don't have really any red anywhere else. And that lettering's in red, but I think that'll work. I think that'll work. So I think I need to go upstairs and see if I have any greenery to go in there. And maybe I'll get those spindles. Of course, the spindles may look good if I have that tall handle and then have spindles. That may look stupid. Okay, I think I'm done with the inside of the cabinet. I ended up going with this grass, which I know looks a little tall right now, but that's because the cabinet doors are open. When I close them, I think it looks good. So I did that. And then I just put some of my old rulers back in that bowl. And I did set a pair of baby shoes on that box. I think it come together pretty good. Let's shut the doors and see what it looks like. Right, that's just my luck. I just tried to shut the door and the wood bowl would not let me. So I tried putting it behind it. And let's see what it looks like with the cabinet door shut. All right, so you really don't see the bowl, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I need to clean my glass on that. That's for sure. We'll do that next, or I will. So, in the video, the blue's not showing up a lot. I can see it in person, but it's not showing up really well in the video. Okay. I pulled the blues sort of into the glass a little bit more. Now, one thing I did do, and I'm going to take it out, is I tried putting some greenery in that crock. I don't like that at all. But I think this area is done for now. I may end up, you know, as the season goes on, adding little bits here and there. But I do want to work on one other spot here in the living room. So we'll get ready to get started on that after we take a quick look around at what we've already done. Okay, so here is the last of the area that I'm going to be sharing in today's video. And I didn't do much right here. Let me show you where I'm at. So there's the cabinet we just worked on. And so right outside the dining room and kitchen, I have this little area, which I don't know if it's part of the foyer or part of the living room, but anyway. I did hang that blue homespun apron and that other apron off the door handle just to add a little bit of blue, continue the blue on around, because that's where I have my two old blue slip Crocs up here. And I did a little bit of adding to my desk area. I went ahead and put the old books that were in that glass cabinet over here. I went ahead and added that sampler that I got at Magpie a few weeks ago. And then I added that bonnet that I used to have on the door of the cupboard here in the living room. Now I thought about hanging the aprons behind that sampler, but I didn't think that would look good because it would have ran into the quilt and all that. And I thought, no, that would be too much right there. But anyway, for right now, this area is done. And I will be back in a couple of days and we will wrap up decorating the living room for summer. I have one more cupboard that I want to do and maybe add in just some little touches here and there. And then the living room will be done for summer. But I thank you all so much for stopping by today and visiting with me as we decorated the fireplace and the cabinet. And then there's also from the previous video, the corner cupboard. So it's coming together. It's coming together with our summer Americana theme. I definitely still need to get my dining room cleaned up. You'll see stuff piled in there and the baby stuff, but we've worked on quite a bit of the living room of pulling it together. I'd like to get some flags for my Crocs up there. I'll have to get, of course, reproduction. I doubt I can find any actual old ones for up there. But coming together, looking good. So thank you so much for stopping by today, and I will be back in a couple of days and we will finish the living room.